פשוט קהל הקדוש, everybody welcome, שיהיה רצון, ברכה, הצלחה, בריאות ליעקב בן אשר, קיריל דניאל בן מיכאל, שבעזרת השם רפואה שלמה, זיווג הגון לקיריל דניאל בן מיכאל, בעזרת השם בקרוב, בשנה הזה, וגם כל המסובים, כל עם ישראל, הצלחה בעזרת השם יתברך. 1000 הבדלות בין המתים לחיים, לעילוי נשמת, כל הנפטרים ונפטרות, שהקדוש ברוך הוא, בזכות הלימוד, and the merit of this לימוד, should lift them מעלה בגן עדן עליון. So it says over here, we continue with our Pirkie avot, and the Pirkie avot continues, איזה הגיבור? הכובש את יצרו. Who is the גיבור? Who is the strong, the powerful and the mighty, that able to conquer his יצר הרע? יש לדקדק לשון איזה. משמע מדבר בשמי באדם. He says, who is the strong and the powerful and the mighty? We're talking about two people. איזה מהם גיבור? He says, which one is the strong and powerful and mighty? יש לדקדק דמלשון פסוק, משמע איפכה. It's opposite. משלטת זין למד. שאמר, טוב ערך אפיים מגיבור. טוב ערך אפיים. Somebody have a patient is much greater then somebody is mighty. Mashma, shemishu ma'arich af, a person is patient when he wants to get angry. Hainu keveshet rosh yitzro, is able to conquer his yetzer hara. Chashuv yuter migibor. Chazal says somebody is angry, or somebody wanted to get him angry, and he stops that anger, whether he's in a relationship, whether he's in a partnership, is much greater than a gibor. He's much greater than a strong and powerful, mighty person. V'eshomar sheyesh shnei minei tzadikim. You have two types of tzadikim. Echad she'em maniach yetzer hara lekarev alav klal. You have one tzadik. The yetzer hara does not even come close to him. He does not let yetzer hara come close to him. Kodem ba'a elav marchiko. Before even the yetzer hara comes to him, he already pushes him away. V'asheni maniach oto labo elav. The second tzadik, he let the yetzer hara come to him. Ach kovesh shelo yisatenu la'avira. He able to conquer him. So the yetzer hara would not able to bring him to the sin. Kagoni yetzer hara misato lechamda. Yetzer hara, you have sometimes a person have a desire, want. Amar lo asek et dvarecha she'alecha acharei chemda. Ech acharei chemda shel hamitzvah. So he says, the yetzer hara pushes him to do the sin. And a tzaddik have a desire. So instead of doing a sin, the tzaddik does what? The mitzvah. Okay? So, אחרי מידה של מצווה, הולך ללמד תורה בחשק גדול בהתמדה גדולה. When a yetzer hara comes to the person, and he has a desire for all the negative stuff to do, there's a one tzaddik. He says he goes and he learns the Torah with a big smile and a big desire. בכך דבר מעשיתו לעמדת רע. And that's the way a person able to get away from his יצר הרע. לוקח דרך עמדה לעבודה הבורא. We're able to take the yetzer hara to work for Hashem. Or we're able to take the yetzer hara, work for negativity, for the sins. Mihem mishubach yoter. Which tzaddik is much greater? That somebody does not bring the yetzer hara even close to him, or somebody brings the yetzer hara close to him, and he pushes him to do negative. Instead of doing negative, the tzaddik does the positive. Which is a greater tzaddik? Huh? Mishu mishubach yoter, bavadai tzaddik sheni. He says the second tzaddik. Why? B'derech mashal adam sheyasham b'chanut lishmor schora. Person, they give him a store to watch after. He's a security. Watch after. Lo hayta daltot ne'ula karawei b'bricha chazak. He says the doors were not close to the store. Was not close. Okay? אך באמצע הלילה שמע גנב שעושה תחבולו לפתוח את הדלת. He says in the middle of the night, the thief comes in and he wants to open the door. But he's afraid himself. The stealer, the robber, is afraid himself. The person that's watching after the store, he starts screaming. So the people will come. The ganav, which just means the robber, okay, the thief, he ran away from the big screaming. מעשה כזה יראה לאיש אחר, ועושה עצמו כשומע. You have another man, okay? The thief comes in, he make pretend he does not hear him. Okay? שנכנס גנב לחנות, the thief went inside the store. תפסו ואסרו בנחושתיים. They catch him, and they catch them, and they did not let him go free. ולא רצו לצעוק להבריח הגנב. He does not want to, the person that watching, he does not want to sit and scream. כי חשוב בתור שאם יברח הגנב, he says, if the stealer, robber, would run away, שמא יבוא עוד פעם בלילה או בלילה אחר. Maybe he's going to come another day or another night to steal. ועשה מה שלבו חפץ. He's able to do whatever he wants to do, the thief. לכן עשו דבר שלא יוסיף לגנוב עוד. That's why he able to tell him that he's not able to steal no more. כי ודאי ליפול עליו פחד שלא יתפסו עוד מענש בייסורים קשים כבראשונה. He says the thief, he's afraid now because they caught him one time. Of course he's not going to do the same mistake, he's not going to go to the same store. הנמשל מובן מאליו זה פירוש. איזה גיבור? And the Chazal says, which one is mighty one? כלומר, איזה משני צדיקים הללו נקרא גיבור? כובש את יצרו. He says that which two tzadikim consider the mighty? ולא זה שאינו מניח יצרה להתקרב אצלו כלל. He says, not that person does not even bring the יצר הרע would come close to him. שנאמר טוב ערך אפיים מגיבור. Chazal says, somebody have a patient is much greater than a mighty person. רוצה לומר, זה מעריך אצלו האף. He waits patiently, even he's angry. דהיינו היצר הרע. יצר הרע consider angry. נקרא אף. היצר הרע תמיד אצלו. יצר הרע is all the time by the person. ועם כל זה כובש אותו. Anyways, he conquers him. זה טוב משובח יותר מצדיק ראשון. This is better than the first tzaddik. אינו מניח לא להתקרב עליו. The first tzaddik not even bring the יצר הרע even close to him. מושל ברוחו. מישהו מושל על יצר הרע כובש אותו. Somebody able to conquer יצר הרע and able to control him. הוא יותר משובט מלוקות עיר. He is much greater than somebody conquers the whole city. כי מישהו לוקט עיר, בוודאי מגרש את אנשים תחילה ואחר כך בא לעיר. He says somebody conquers the city, first he needs to get rid of all the people in the city, then conquers the city. אבל זה אינו מגרש את יצר הזה, זה כובשו. This is the somebody, he conquers the city, but the people stays there. טוב ערך אפיים מגיבור מושל ברוחו מלוקט עיר. Chazal says somebody, he have a patience. He says he's able to conquer the city. המגיד מדובנה היה all the time, מגיד מדובנה was all the time will give him משלים. באוהל יעקב, פרשת ויתחנן, בספר המדד, בשורי המידות. לבאר בין ערך אפיים בין המושל ברוחו. What's the difference between somebody have a patient or somebody able to control his רוחו, which just means his spirituality is able to control. כי יש שומע קולנו מתגבר על יצרו מעלת אותו מיד. He says somebody able to hear the יצר הרע, and right away he's able to understand that's a יצר הרע. ויצר את רוחו ויפיל מפיו. Right away able to stop him. ומכל זה איש אש כעס תוקע בקרבו. He says a person that is able to get anger and is able to stop the anger right away. הוא מתגבר בשכלו על יצר לעצור במילים. He's able to stop the יצר הרע with the words. לכן מתואר, ערך אפיים. That's why he says he's patient. אמנם יש מעלה ממנו, but he says much greater than a patient, שלא ייתן מקום לכעוס לעבור דרך ליבו. He says he does not get angry inside his heart. כי כאין בעצמו מאמר נפשי כאפה לכל תהיה. Every time אלוקי נצור, we say in the end of the 18, let my soul be like a dust of the earth. What do I mean dust of the earth? Everybody stepping on the earth? Yes. Does the earth saying nothing? No. And a person every time what he says, אלוקי נצור, נפשי תהיה כאפר, תהיה כאפר. Okay? Then afterwards somebody tell him something, he gets angry. Oh, you just said it, you made my soul, it's like a what? Like a afar, like a dust of the earth. כבר התבונן הרבה בשפלות אדם לדכות את רוחו בקרבו. He says how much a person needs to think how to control himself. אמרו בחז"ל, ירושלמי, סוטה פרק ג' פרק ב' הלכה ב'. In the Sotah in Yerushalmi says, in the chapter 2, הלכה 2. דאמר עקיביה בן מהללל, הסתכל בשלושה דברים. עקיביה בן מהללל says we should look in three things. שלושתם דרש פסוק אחד. It's from the pasuk from the Mishle. Yudbet. Zechor et borecha. They say, remember your creator. Okay? Borecha beor beorecha. Beorecha makom shebata. Says, where you come from, borech. למקם שאתה הולך, בוראך. לפני מי אתה ליתן דבי חשבון, ועל כן יהיה שפל מאוד בעיניו. It says, Koel, it says following. Where we're coming from, where we're going to, and in front of who we're going to give din v'cheshbon. ישמע איש מחרף אותי. People hear that people disrespecting other people. כי כחרש לא ישמע וכאילם לא יפתח פיו. It's like a חירש, he does not hear. Okay? Mute person, it does not open his mouth. כי חושב בטעותו שהוא שפל הרבה יותר מה ששמע אוזניו. If they're going to disrespect him, and he puts himself so low down, שפל באוזניו, says, I'm lower than what they're calling me. Okay? כאיש אשר לא שומע ואינו פיו תוכחות. And he would not give rebuke to the people. ועל שתי מדרגות אלו נאמר, טוב ערך אפיים מגיבור. And this is what they say. It's much greater to have a patient than somebody is a mighty person in the power. כי אותו אשר יערוך מלחמה עם יצרו ושכלו. That person with the patient able to do fight with his yetzer hara in his mind and his brains. הוא כעסו שלא להוציא מכוח. ויקבש את כעסו, he's able to control his anger. שלא יציע מכוח אל פועל. From the potential to actual, the anger, he would not take it out. הוא מעריך רוחה, לאוחז במידת המתינות. He's going to be המתין. He's going to have weight. הוא טוב מגיבור. He's much greater than somebody who's mighty and powerful. מוציא גבורתו מן הכוח אל פועל, מפיל שונאיו לפניו. He says when there needs to be moment, that's where he's able to, his enemies, or somebody hating him, he's able to conquer them. מושל ברוחו. He's able to control him. היינו שהוא מושל על נפשו לבלי להתחיל לכלוס כעס. He's not able to get angry at all. But you're going to say, I'm not a stone. How is it possible to get that anger? לברי אחרי אפו לחברו. He says a person should not get angry as his fellow. דימה אותו ללוקט עיר. It's like you conquering the city. כלומר, לקט אותם והכניע תחת ידו. You're able to control the situation under your hands. ואז אינו צריך להילחם עמהם. Then you don't need to fight with him. לא כן הגיבור שישכיל תחילה הוא לוחם על עיר ועדיין לא כבשה. But he says the difference between טוב ערך אפיים מגיבור, somebody is mighty, he go to the city, he still did not conquer the city. But somebody able to control his anger is automatically conquering the city. That's the difference. Somebody is a warrior, soldier, he goes, he still did not conquer the city. So who is much greater? That somebody able to control his anger and somebody going actual a war and conquering the city? He still did not conquer. That's the difference. He's still not conquered. Somebody able to control his anger, he's already conquered the city. That's two different things. להבדיל שני סוגים האלה, כי הראשון מתייקר בעיני עצמו לידי שתיקייתו. A person is thinking, he becomes very powerful when he sits quiet, somebody embarrasses him and gets angry. בירתו את עצמו להתגבר על יצרו. Is able to overcome his יצר הרע. ואמר, איך החמדתי, עמדתי לי לסבול כל זאת. He says, how are able to become smart? They're able to handle everything that comes to me. כל אשר מחרב ויבוזו יותר. The people disrespect him more and more. יתייקר ביותר בעיני עצמו. He's going to be much greater and greater. He builds himself. לא כן שני, אשר רוחו נשברה על ידי היות מכיר שפלותו. Not the second one. Somebody disrespected him right away he falls and he breaks. ואין בפיו מענה לענות את המחרף. He cannot able to answer nothing because he breaks right away. כי בעיני עצמו פחות הרבה ממה שהוא שומע מפיו זה. He's thinking in his brain, that's it, I'm so good, I'm so great. Okay? כל מה שחברו מחרפו הוא לא מזכיר את עוון. He says, whoever is disrespected him is giving him his sin. ואמר בליבו, הלא אמת אותו, הדרך אמיתי בזאת, המידה שלכם אדם עם כוחותות נפשותו. So the best character Hashem give it to us, we should fight for our strength and the power that we have. We have to use them. We have to use the strength and the power inside of us. בטרם בו המחרב לנגדו, that anybody will come against us. ויבחר לעצמו להתבונן בשפלות האדם. We need to sometimes pay attention where we're coming from and where we're coming from and where we're going to. And sometimes we need to come to this realization. יבחר רוחו בקרבו, כאמר מאוד מאוד שפל רוח בפני כל אדם. Chazal says a person has to be very, very down in front of each person. What does it mean? ואז אם יקבע אחד מכבודו יבזהו. What about somebody disrespecting his kavodo? Kavodo, which means his dignity and his honor. תתקטן עוד זאת בעיניו. He becomes much smaller in his eyes. כי בערכו שפל הרבה יותר מאשר תשמע אוזנו מפי מחרפו. Somebody able to disrespect him, but he says, I'm much lesser than whatever he's disrespecting me. So he's always happy. But he says, how can he disrespect me? I'm A, B, C, D. Then what becomes? Then he becomes depressed, anxiety, right? ולא יהיה בליבו שום רצון לענות אותו. And he has no desire to go and fight with him and argue. והיה כאלם בתולדה שאינו מצטער בשתיקייתו. זה אמרו תלים. תולה ארץ בלימה. בחולין, מסכת בחולין, it says in page 89. תולה ארץ על בלימה. Somebody, על מי שבלום פיו בשעת מריבה. In the time of the fight, he sits quiet, the whole world stands on him. Why? Because the לא להמשיך, it does not continue. טוב ערך אפיים מגיבור משה בכל מלכות עיר. A person is much greater that have a patient and able to conquer the city, okay? He's much greater whoever conquers the city. פירוש הגר"א, רב וילנה גאון, שערך אפיים נגד הכעס. Chazal says a person should have a patient against the anger. מושל ברוחו הוא נגד התאווה. He's able to control his desires against his desires. ואתה מדמה ערך אפיים לגיבור. Why it has to be a patient person has to be like a mighty person? מושל ברוחו ללוכד עיר. He's able to control himself, he's able to conquer the city. כי ידוע שהגיבורים נלחמים זה עם זה. He says, you know, the mighty people, they fight with each other, okay? They fight with each other. כל אחד מבקש להרוג את חברו. Each one of them want to kill each other. ואינו חפץ להישאר בחיים. They're not able to, one's supposed to be die, the other one's supposed to be live. אבל הלוכד העיר, but what about somebody that conquered the city? שם אנשים אלה שיכניעו לו. This is the people that he conquered the city. They subdued to the person that conquered the city. לכן לעניין כעס ותאווה. And this has to do with the כעס, with the anger and the desire, תאווה. לגבי כעס צריך להיות שפל רוח מאוד מאוד. When it comes to anger, a person has to be very, very down. ולא לכעוס כלל. Not to get angry at all. לא מינה ולא מקצתה. Not little bit, not a lot. אבל התאווה צריכים לקיום העולם. But desire you need for the world to sustain. אלא צריך לכבושו להניחה. תאווה we need to control the desires. הוא שאמר סוטה. מסכת סוטה עם מ"ז says following. יצר, שמאל דוחה וימין מתקרבת. He says small left pushes away, the right would bring it closer. ולא רק גיבור רוחני הוא. He's not only a mighty and powerful spiritual, אלא גיבור כפשוטו. Chazal says he's a real powerful, the way we hear it. כי בנוהג העולם חלש וחרפה עונים. יולריך ימים. A person that disrespected him all the time, they press on him, they push on him, okay, he would not have long life. כשיתקפו מחלה יבוא עוד משבר. If a sickness comes in, he right away breaks. לא יכול כוחותו טבעיים להתגבר על מחלה. See, each person has a natural powers inside of him that able to fight the מחלה, חס ושלום. sickness. ויכריע תחת ויפול למסוד הנצח. אבל הגיבור בריאות יתגבר על מחלה. But somebody is חס ושלום have a bad news. And he says, no, I'm strong, I'm powerful. עד שיקום מחלה ויחיה. And he's going to heal and he's going to live. V'arich yamim v'shanim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to prolong his days and years. V'chen hakas kodem hu tzafui t'kvod lev al yedei lev roges. What's the bottom line of the getting person anger? Angry person, the first problem they're going to have, heart attacks. Okay? Heart attack is the essence. Okay, we're going to say the food. We're going to say, okay, if you're going to eat this type of food, your heart is going to be yes, 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 yes. But the main essence, what? The anger. Anger. Who says this? Anger. Look what it says. על ידי כל צפוי לתפוד לב, על ידי לב רוגז, מעוטד למות בקיצור ימים ושנים. A person is able to die fast and quick. כמו שאמר, קצר ימים ושבע רוגז זה טליה. כובש כעסו יאריך ימים. Somebody able to control his anger is prolong his life. Somebody not able to prolong his anger, what happens? Heart attack, chas v'shalom. Everybody says the same thing. Who is a rich person that is happy what he has? So we say, okay, there's everybody knows. Okay, what does it mean? Birkat Hashem hitashir v'lo yosiv etzev imo. Mishlei Yud 22 it says, Birkat Hashem hitashir. The blessing of Hashem, lo yosiv etzev. He says a person gets rich, but with the richness comes worries. Etzev. Chomrim etzev. That's what it says in Mishlei. It says, Birkat Hashem itashir. We need the blessing of Hashem in order for us to be blessed. It says you should not desire for a lot of richness. It's impossible, Rabbi. Okay, Masechet Barachot, al pasuk abiyo kol ha'maaser al bet ha'otzer v'arikoti lachem b'adorachat b'lidai. Hashem says, I will give you the blessing until you're going to say, finish. I don't want no more blessing. Malachi Gimel Yud. Malachi says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Varikoti lachem barachat b'lidai. That until now you're going to say, stop, that's it, Hashem, I don't want no more blessing. Katav HaNegid Rabbeinu David Neched Rambam. The grandson of the Rambam, Rabbeinu David. B'Sefer Midrash David, he brings the Midrash David. Maseh ba'ish ani haya marviach miyad kedei mezonotav. One poor family, the guy was working, but he was very, very poor. Okay, he only was made money just to pay whatever for that day only. Vaya tamid sameach b'ma shenoten lo borei yitbarach. He always was happy whatever Hashem gives him. Miyat or arbe, whether less, whether more. B'chol layla achal she'eh ochel im anshe beito banav. After when they eat family together, they will say thank you to Hashem, ding 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 dam, thank you Hashem. That's what they will say. Him, his kids, and his wife. One of the sons was harp. Okay? Second one was singing. One is with the harp, the second one singing. Who tofes achatov? The third one doira, drum. V'osim mechul sha'a o shatayim baseder va'oneg. So they were dancing 1 hour, 2 hours, and enjoying it. V'achar kach holechim v'yishanim. And afterwards they go and they sleep. Laila echad me'alaylot avar hamelech el petach beitam v'shama et hanigunim. One time the king passed by through the window of the house of these poor people. Okay? He's just looking what they're doing. Each night he comes in, just look at the window. 3 days the king went after this family and look at what they're doing. The same day, same night that they did in the first night, second, third, the same thing. Eating, drinking, dancing, minagen, shiarim. שהוא היה עובר לפתח ביתם שלהם, אזין לכל הניגונים, באותו שעה שלח מלך אחר אותו האיש, העני, בוא לפני המלך. The king now sends his guards and he says, please bring me this guy, this poor guy to me. He does not know he's still poor. הוא בא לפני המלך ואמר, אתה איש, כמה ממון יש לך תחת ידיך? The first thing he's asking, how much money you have? Okay? אמר לו, אדוני המלך, my dear king, okay? אני איש עני. He says, I'm a poor guy. אין לי ממון. He says, I don't have money. אלא מה שאני מרוויח בכל יום, הוציא אותו לכלכלות אנשי ביתי ובניתי. Says, whatever I make for that day, that's the only money that I have, and that's how we live every day. ואני שמח במה שאתן לי הבורא יתברך. And I'm happy, whatever that Hashem give us. ואפילו הוא מעט, even though it's little, בעבור זה אני עושה מזמור בכל לילה, אני ואשתי בניי. Not only that, we're able to sing, we're able to bring a kli, the vessel, and we're able to sing. Me, my wife, and family. אמר מלך בדעתו, אם אלו שהם בזה, אני אשמח לבורא יתברך. He says, look at this poor guy. Whatever he has, he's so happy. Okay, so happy. אם ישרירו אחד כמה תתחברי שמחתם. Says the king, what if I'm going to make him rich? How much happy he's going to be? How much more happy he's going to be? תוסיף הודתם לבורא יתברך. And they were going to even praise more to Hashem יתברך. באותו שאמר מלך לעבדיו. In this moment, the king said to his servants, שימלאו לו את חיקו בזהובים. He says, give him all the gold and silver, give him everything. כן עשו, and that's the way. ייקח אותם וילך ביתו, ונחם בקופסה. And he went, and he put inside the bucket. מוצא שלא יתמלא קופסה על פיה. He sees the bucket is not fully full. שהייתה חסרה מעט. It's a little bit missing. ועכשיו באתו עני שהוא ואשתו. Now this poor guy and his wife, now they become rich. הגיע בעבודו שיתמלא קופסה. So now we need to worry how to make this bucket full. It was a little bit missing from the bucket, but it's not full. Now they need to work hard to make this bucket full. כדי שתהיה מלא, full. ונהיה אותנו עני בדאגה בצער. נהיה אותה עני. Now this poor guy became worried, okay, in pain. מה שהיה מרוויח בכל יום מניח לתוך הקופסה. Every day, whatever he made, that day, the money, he puts inside this bucket. ולא תתמלא, it does not become full. בטלו הניגונים ושמח היו מנגנים בכל לילה. Everything nullified, no more singing, no more dancing, everything is gone. ועזבו סדרה שמחתם ושלטו הם דאגה. They became worried, מצוקה והרדיפה, running, chasing. ואחרי איזה זמן עבר מלך אל פתח ביתם. Afterwards, after many years, king comes to the house. מצא אותם נרדמים בחושך. They're sleeping in the darkness. ואין קולם נשמע. You don't even hear the voice. ועבור עליהם פעם שנית ושלישית. Second time, third time. לא ישמע קולם. He doesn't hear nothing in the house. ושלח מלך אחרו עני. Now the king says, I want to see this poor guy. What happened to him? I made him rich. אמר לו את האיש, מה עיניך היום? ואמר, אתה אדוני המלך. He says, what happened today, my dear king? בזמן שעלה לי ממון, היית שמח שאין לי תביעה ל1,000 זהובים. When I had money, I was so happy, I was not worried how to make this bucket to be full. ואתה שולט בי דאגה. He says, the king, my dear king, you gave me worries. Okay? מצוקה בליבי, in my heart. ואני כל היום רודף ודואג מתי תתמלא קופסה. Every day I'm running, I'm chasing. When is going to be full this my bucket that you gave it to me? Okay? תתמלא קופסה ולא תתמלא. He says it does not yet become full. באותו שעה לקחו המלך ממנו את הממון. In that moment the king took all the money. וחזר עני מנהג הראשון שמחה וששון. And that poor guy became again happy. And he has no worry. So Chazal says, איזה עשיר? השמח בחלקו. We just understand what does it mean, איזה עשיר בשמח חלקו, which just means that somebody is able to understand whatever he's having, he needs to enjoy it. And Hashem provides it. Why most of us does not have a smile in our faces? Why? Why? Too many worries. If we have 613 mitzvot, Stipler Gaon says, now we have 613 bayot, problems. So why are we not smiling? Problem. A stress. מסופר על שני האחים הגאונים רב שמואל, רבי פנחס בעל המפלאה, כי בדרך נסיעתם למגיד ממזריץ'. Two brothers, two תלמידי חכמים גדולי עולם went to the מגיד ממזריץ'. התקשרו דברי משנה. They want to know the משנה in מסכת ברכות in page 54, עמוד א'. חייב אדם לברך על הרע כשהם מברך על הטוב. So it says, we want to understand this Mishnah in a Masechet Barachot, page Nundalet. Chayav Adam, a person, the way he makes a mazonot, shakol, right? He enjoying it, beautiful meal. That's the way he needs to also make somebody, chas v'shalom, passed away. Baruch Dayana Emet, the same way he needs to say it. With the same enjoyment and pleasure. It's impossible. That's what the Gemara. So how can a Gemara ask something a person is impossible for him to do? So Baal Afla'a, Rabbi Pinchas Baal Afla'a, Rabbi Shmuel came to the Magid B'Mizrich, and they want to understand this Mishnah. Okay? Chayav Adam livarech harak shem mivarech ala tov. But Gemara Samech, in the Gemara, the same Gemara Masechet Barachot in page 60, Amud Bet, Lo nitzracha ele lekablehu b'simcha. He says, you need to accept everything with happiness. How? He says, how we are born from the woman, that we are humans, able to make a bracha on this, that something bad happened and we're supposed to be the same happy. The way he does for the good, that's the way he needs to do for the bad. They went to the Magid B'Mizrich and they give him the Sheila question. אמר להם מגיד, שאל כזה יכול גם זושה שלי להשיב. He says, Zusha, Magid B'Mizrich says, I have a Zusha, Rabbi Zusha. You don't need me. All you need is a Zusha. That's all. לכן נשאל אותו, נכנסו לבית מדרשה של המגיד. They went to the study hall of the Magid, Magid B'Mizrich. שאלו, מה זושה? Meo Zusha. He says, who is Zusha? הראו להם על עני מסכן אחד יושב. He says, one poor guy, he sits, על ידי תנור, next to the heater, והוא קורא בספר תהילים. He start reading תהילים. מתוך שטפחות הנפש. From the bottom of his heart. פניו קורנות. His face is shining. ניגש אליו וסיפר כי מגיד שלכם אליו. He says, the Magid B'Mizrich sent me to you, to Rav Zusha, okay? He says, he tells us to give whatever the question we have, we need to ask you. Atamheni Rav Zusha, בתמימות, מה רבנו שלח אותם עליי בשאלה? He says, what the Rabbeinu needs, Magid B'Mizrich, send it to me for this question. שאלה זו צריך לשאול מישהו בו עליו בפעם ייסורים. You need to ask somebody that somebody went to the difficulties and problems. That somebody went through the difficulty or bad happened to his life. אדם כזה יכול לדעת, אפשר לקבל את הרע, בשמחה לברך עליך. This person able to answer you and give you all the answers that you need. Zusha miyamav lo ira lo ra chalila. He says Zusha, he's always spoken as a third party. Zusha never had bad something happen to him. Chas v'chalila, he says. Zusha haya tov haya kol yamav. Zusha was, all his life was good. Leolam hu mivarech ala tov. All the time he was said, everything is good. Az avinu achim hagonim kavanad magid. Then they understood what the Magid Mimizrich wanted to say to them through the Rav Zusha. פירוש דברי חז"ל, צריך אדם להיות שמחה במידה כזו שלא להרגיש כלל ברע. Chazal is asking from us, שצריך אדם, we must, להיות בשמחה במידה. We need to be happy in a proportion. כזה שלא ירגיש כלל ברע. We should not feel bad at all. That's the bottom line. And all of you ask me a question, how is it possible? Go ask Rabbi Zusha. We don't have Rabbi Zusha. Okay? Maybe we have Rabbi Zusha in a yeshiva. We have this guy coming in. I don't know, what is he or what is he? He comes sometimes, not clothed properly, dirty sometimes. And he's always happy, says Shabbat Shalom. You tell him you need help, he never needs help. Unbelievable. Eze ashir hasamech bechelko. Chazal says, we learn from Rav Zusha. Eze ashir, no, right. Eze ashir hasamech bechelko, we learn two stories. From Rav David, the nechet of the Rabbi Rambam. Okay? And from the Rav Zusha. And again, Eze ashir hasamech bechelko pirush Maran Chida בספר פתח עיניים. Maran Chida סר רבי חיים יוסף דוד אזולאי. כוונה שהוא נהנה ממאושרו. Chazal says he needs to enjoy from his richness, whatever he has. Somebody is rich. But he does not have no pleasure from it. Because he has he's a cheap for himself. It says like it says in the Zohar, in Kav Yashar. Okay? This is one rich guy, Kav Yashar, in Zohar HaKadosh. There's one rich guy, he was so rich. Okay? Tovad Margilo haya kamtzan gadol, but he's very stingy. Not only was not giving people to the pauper, the people who needed, even himself did not have any enjoyment from his richness. Oh, he ate bread and water. Okay? Mitzvah echad hayta bayado, but he had only one mitzvah in his hand. Hu haya mahul momche. He was a professional mohel. Circumcision. He did everything for Leshem Shemaim without accepting dime from anybody. Even he needs to travel a lot, he would travel but would not take the money. One time came to him Satan, in a person as a Jew. Okay? He says, my wife gave baby boy. Brit milah yeh ba'od shlosha yamim. He says the brit milah, the shed comes in 3 days. V'derech rechoka. It's a very long way to go. He says, if possible, the Kvod Harav will come to me and circumcise the baby of mine. Askim ha'ish. He agreed. The Moel agreed. Lakach et hakli milah v'yetzev v'shuva egala bo la'ish. So he came, okay, and he went to the traveling. V'echu shnehem yachdav. Two of them, the Shindalit, in the image of Jewish, comes in. V'nei yetzeh min ha'ir et midbar. Shamem derech harim gvuot. They went traveling to the city, to the mountains, to the forest. She'agia lekfar katan. They came to the little village. נכנס מוהל לביתו האיש, וירא שהוא עשיר גדול מאוד. He sees this guy, whoever told him to come to the moel, says he's a very rich guy. ביקש מוהל לבדוק את הילד, נכנס את הילד, he says, can I see the child? Okay, the moel comes in, he sees the child, רואה ילד בריא, ראוי למולו. Says, you see, the child is, everything is good. ראותו את הילד, שמחה מאוד לקראתו, תקרא לו לשלום. שירתה אותו ילדת, שמחה מאוד לקראתו ותקרא לו לשלום. So the mother of this child, she tells the shalom to this moel, to this rabbi. ותאמר לה, אני מגיד לך סוד גדול. She says, I'm going to open for you a big, big secret. The wife of this Shindalit. Okay? דע שבעלי וכל התושבים הם שדים בדמות אנשים. He says, everybody over here in this town is everybody shidim in the image of humans. בזוהר נקרא שידין יהודאין. In Zohar it's called the Jewish Shedim. ואנה אזיר לביתי לאכול שום דבר של מאכל. He says, make sure you're not going to eat anything in this town. אפילו מים לא תשתה. He says, even the water don't drink. שאם תאכל תשתה מהם, לא תוכל לצאת מכאן לעולם. He says, if you're going to drink and eat with them, you would never come out from the city. תישאר את השידים, תהיה כמותם. You're going to be like a shindalik like them. Okay, כל המעשיהם, הבל וריק מעשה תעתועים. Everything is for nonsense, he says. They're all over here for nonsense. גם הזהיר שלא תיקח מהם שום חפץ למתנה. He says, don't take nothing with the what? מתנה. Nothing with the present. Don't take anything. לא מבעלי משאר השדים. Not for my husband, not for all the שדים. אני בעונתי, גנוב גנבתי בילדים מן היהודים, כאשר עבדתי. He says, when I was a young child, they stole me, I left in a city. That's it. I'm a Jewish girl. She wasn't Shindalet. Okay? ויהיה בצהריים תילכד מכל הכפרים וסובב את עריכת ברית מילה. He does the ברית מילה. Everybody, all the Shindalets come in the image of the humans. אנשים, נשים, כולם השדים. Women, men, כולם שדים. Everybody is a Shindalet. להתחיל לשורר בכל זמרה. בורכם אתם, חרמוני. לערוך מוהלת הברית מילה בשמחה. ברית מילה was in a big happy. ואחר כך ישוב לסעוד סעודת ברית מילה. Then they're sitting and doing the ברית מילה, סעודה, כל טוב. בשר, דגים, fish, אוקיי? ויין, מניקה, כל מיני מהלכים. It says anything that you could imagine, it was full, packed. מועל מצא בתחבולה. Okay, ואמר כי הוא בצום. They ask him, what's happening with Mohel? He says, I'm fasting today. כי ראו חלום רע בלילה. He says, I saw a bad dream at night time. לכן הוא יושב בתענית חלום. He says, I'm sitting in a fasting because I saw a bad dream. עמשו כמה שעות בסעודה. Passed by a couple hours. ועמדו להתפלל מנחה וילכו משם. They pray מנחה, then they left. Even Shindalets pray מנחה, you see? בלילה הבא בא לברית, דברי מאכל. At night time, now the Shindalets come, and he says, eat. That's it, the fast is finished, Bobov. והוא סרב לאכול באומרו שהוא חש בראשו. He says, I have a headache, I cannot eat right now. למערד יום אמר לו בא לברית, קום ולך עמי. He says, come, go with me. The guy who invited the Shindalet to the ברית. Okay? תראה את אוצרתי. He says, come, look at my richness. כסף, זהב, gold, silver. בגדי משי, anything. מלגיליו, diamonds, הביאו אל החרדה, והיה מוהל תמה מאוד. מוהל, this rabbi saw, he was so amazed. כאיש נדהם הוא שאותו איש בר הברית מתה תמה. He says, the father of this baby Shindalet, he says, why you look so shocked? אין מוהל ואומר, תמה שכל האוצרות ההם דומים ממש לאוצרתי. He says, whatever you have, it looks like exactly like mine. Okay? וחדרים דומי חדרי. He says, everything looks like mine. The room, it looks like mine. Everything's like mine. גם פתוחים חדרים דומים ממש לפתוחות שבידיי. He says, anything that looks, it looks like mine. ואמר אל האיש, בהיות שגמולת עמו חסד. He says, because you did chesed with me. וטרחת לדורך 10 פרוסות, למול בני, because you came and you did ברית מילה for my son. ראיתי כי היה השם ממך. He says, I saw as Hashem is with you. נזהרתי שלא יכול לשתות לקבל את שום מתנה מאיתנו. I saw you didn't accept nothing from us. Okay? שום מתנה מאיתנו. Okay? ואגלה לך סוד. He says, I'm going to tell you the secret. שאני ראש השדים. He says, I'm the main Shindalet. ואינו נותנים צדקה לעניים. He says, we don't give tzedakah to the poor people. לבל יכול לתענוג מן העושר ברשותם. He says, we cannot give the tzedakah to the poor person because we cannot have any pleasure from it. אך באשר גמולה טוב כל ככה, קח לך את המפתחת בידי. He says, take the key in my hands. The Shindalet says, יפתח לך השם את אוצרו הטוב. Hashem is going to open for you everything. כדי שייתן צדקה לפרנס עניים. He says, go give tzedakah to the poor people. We're not able to do it as a Shindalet. Even they like a humans. גם זה תוכל לקרוא ליהנות מאושריך. And even you able to enjoy from your richness. תענוג על השם וייתן לך משאלות ליבך. Says you will have enjoyed it and הקדוש ברוך הוא is going to fulfill everything in your heart. כל זה בזכות מצווה מילה שטרחת עליך לא קיבלת שכר. Because you went out of your way and you did a brit milah for my son, look what Hashem did it to you. What the musar maskel, a person mize ashira samech v'chelko. A person could be a rich, but he's eating bread and what? And water, because he's not going to give to others. You see what kind of story we read today? Amazing. שיהיה רצון שהקדוש ברוך הוא תן לנו ברכה, הצלחה, בריאות, הרבה נחת, עושר והכבוד, we're able to do tzedakot, we're able to have enjoyment לשם השם in this world, וכן יהיה רצון ונאמר אמן. Without the shedim, of course. אהבת את הסיפור הזה?